how can a lightsaber make the Jedi Council nervous? After all, every Jedi eventually builds one. It's considered a rite of passage, a symbol of discipline, responsibility, and a deeper connection to the Force. But Anakin Skywalker's second lightsaber was different. Following his devastating defeat at the hands of Count Dooku on Geonosis, Anakin didn't simply replace the weapon he had lost. He rebuilt it with a completely different philosophy. Every modification reflected a Jedi who was no longer preparing to defend peace, but preparing to win wars. To most of the Order, the changes seemed practical. The Clone Wars had begun, and every Jedi was adapting to a new reality. But masters like Yoda saw something far more concerning. They believed Anakin's new weapon revealed a dangerous shift in his mindset, one that placed combat above wisdom, victory above patience, and strength above the very ideals the Jedi were sworn to uphold. Years before Darth Vader was born, the warning signs were already there, hidden in plain sight within the design of a single lightsaber. So why did Anakin become obsessed with rebuilding his weapon? And what exactly did the Jedi Council see that everyone else overlooked? Let's open the archives and find out. To understand why Anakin's second lightsaber concerned the Jedi Council, we first need to return to the Battle of Geonosis. For years, Anakin Skywalker had been told he was the chosen one. His extraordinary connection to the Force allowed him to accomplish feats that few Jedi could match, even as a Padawan. While Obi-Wan Kenobi constantly urged patience and discipline, Anakin often believed his abilities were enough to overcome any obstacle. Then he met Count Dooku. Unlike the enemies Anakin had faced before, Dooku wasn't simply another skilled warrior. He had once been one of the Jedi Order's greatest masters and was widely regarded as one of the finest lightsaber fighters in galactic history. Experience, precision, and absolute control defined his fighting style. Anakin, however, underestimated him. Fueled by confidence and a desire to prove himself, he charged into battle without fully understanding the opponent standing before him. Within moments, Dooku dismantled his attack, outmaneuvered him with ease, and severed Anakin's right arm. The physical injury healed. The psychological wound never truly did. For the first time in his life, Anakin realized that raw talent alone wasn't enough. He had been completely outclassed by someone whose mastery came from decades of discipline and experience. The defeat shattered his confidence and replaced it with something far more dangerous: obsession. After Geonosis, Anakin became consumed with becoming the greatest lightsaber fighter in the galaxy. Every mission, every training session, and every spare moment became another opportunity to improve. His goal wasn't simply to become a better Jedi. He wanted to ensure that if he ever faced Count Dooku again, the outcome would be different. That obsession would influence every decision he made, including how he rebuilt the weapon he had lost. When Anakin began constructing his second lightsaber, he wasn't interested in recreating his first one. He was creating a weapon designed for the battles he believed were still to come. When Anakin finally rebuilt his lightsaber, he didn't simply replace what had been lost on Geonosis. He studied every weakness he believed had contributed to his defeat and designed a weapon that would eliminate those shortcomings. The most noticeable change was the hilt itself. Compared to his first lightsaber, the new design was thicker, heavier, and built to withstand far more aggressive combat. The wider grip gave Anakin greater leverage, allowing him to deliver more powerful two-handed strikes while maintaining better control during extended duels. These weren't cosmetic upgrades. They reflected a fundamental shift in how Anakin intended to fight. During the Clone Wars, Anakin increasingly relied on Form E, specifically the Geonosis variant, a lightsaber form built around strength counterattacks and overwhelming an opponent with relentless pressure, rather than patiently waiting for an opening to gem. So encouraged the duelist to seize control of the fight and force the enemy onto the defensive. His new lightsaber perfectly complemented that philosophy. Anakin also modified the weapon's internal components, allowing for a broader blade profile and making it more effective at deflecting blaster fire while generating even greater force behind each strike. Every adjustment served a practical purpose on the battlefield. There was nothing elegant about the redesign. It was efficient, it was durable, and above all, it was built for war. To most Jedi fighting on the front lines of the Clone Wars, these modifications made perfect sense. Survival often depended on adapting to increasingly dangerous opponents. But to the Jedi Council, Anakin's lightsaber represented something far more troubling. The weapon no longer reflected the ideals of a peacekeeper. It reflected the mindset of a soldier who expected every problem to be solved through combat. And that was precisely what worried them. To understand why the Council grew uneasy, it's important to remember what a lightsaber represented to the Jedi. It wasn't simply a weapon. For thousands of years, a lightsaber symbolized discipline, restraint, and a Jedi's commitment to defending life rather than taking it. Every part of its construction reflected the values of its owner. That's why Anakin's new lightsaber raised eyebrows. Its design wasn't built around balance or tradition. It was optimized for battlefield dominance. Of course, the Clone Wars had changed everything. Nearly every Jedi found themselves serving as generals instead of peacekeepers. Many modified their tactics to survive against increasingly dangerous enemies. But Anakin was different. Unlike many Jedi who viewed war as an unfortunate duty, Anakin embraced it. He excelled on the battlefield, earned the loyalty of his clone troops, and developed a reputation for solving problems through decisive action. While those qualities made him one of the Republic's greatest military commanders, they also pushed him further away from the ideals the Jedi Order tried to preserve. Master Yoda recognized this long before most others. He understood that war changes people. Every battle encourages fear, anger, and attachment, the very emotions the Jedi were taught to resist. Watching Anakin devote himself almost entirely to becoming a stronger warrior suggested that his priorities were shifting. Rather than seeking greater understanding of the Force, he was becoming increasingly focused on combat. His second lightsaber became a physical reflection of that change. It wasn't dangerous because of how it was built. It was dangerous because of what it revealed. The Council feared that Anakin was beginning to define himself not as a guardian of peace, but as someone who believed victory could solve every problem, and history would eventually prove that those fears were justified. Looking back, Anakin's second lightsaber wasn't simply an upgraded weapon. It was a window into the man he was becoming. Every modification made practical sense. The thicker hilt, stronger grip, and combat-focused design all helped him survive the brutal realities of the Clone Wars. On the battlefield, those decisions made him one of the Republic's most effective Jedi generals. But the Jedi Council wasn't judging the weapon itself. They were judging what had inspired it. Instead of rebuilding his lightsaber as a symbol of renewed discipline, Anakin rebuilt it around the lessons of defeat. He became obsessed with never feeling powerless again, dedicating himself to strength, mastery, and victory above everything else. That mindset slowly pulled him away from the Jedi philosophy. The Order taught that a Jedi should trust in the Force, exercise patience, and fight only when absolutely necessary. Anakin increasingly believed that greater power was the answer to every failure he experienced. His lightsaber reflected that belief long before his actions did. Perhaps the greatest irony is what happened after Anakin became Darth Vader. When he forged his Sith lightsaber, he could have abandoned everything about his old weapon and started from scratch. Instead, he built a design remarkably similar to his second Jedi lightsaber, refining the same concepts he had developed during the Clone Wars. Even after fully embracing the dark side, Vader still relied on the philosophy that had first taken shape after Geonosis. In hindsight, the Jedi Council wasn't afraid of a lightsaber. They were afraid of what it represented. Because sometimes, a weapon doesn't just reveal how someone fights. It reveals who they're becoming. And in Anakin Skywalker's case, that transformation had already begun years before anyone realized Darth Vader was inevitable. May the Force be with you.